Well, here we are again. It's always such a pleasure. Remember when you tried to kill me twice? Oh, how we laughed and laughed, except I wasn't laughing. Under the circumstances, I've been shockingly nice. Okay, I'm trying to talk quietly because in our bedroom on the other side of that wall, Aiden is finally napping on our bed. It's been 1 week since you lived here now. It's been a challenging more than 24 hours. Last week, a couple of times, Aiden just like randomly threw up at the middle of the night and then acted fine the rest of the day for several days, and then threw up again, and then acted fine the rest of the day. And last time he threw up was really early Thursday morning, or Thursday night, and so I kept him home, you know, like 1 a.m. between Thursday and Friday. It's always confusing how they put that. So I kept him home from daycare on Friday, and the weekend wasn't too bad. Saturday's live stream, I think, went fine. I was pretty tired and just didn't really feel like playing a game, certainly not fighting with the lag of trying to use that cheap HDMI capture dongle to, no, get off the table, to use my PS5, to stream from my PS5. So instead I watched very brief clips of some of the VidCon feature creators trying to put together my meet and greet playlist, where you basically, or not playlist, but voting list, where it's basically ranked choice voting, which I wish we had for, you know, actual politics, where you list them in order of who you want to try to meet. I don't super care, because, well, 90% of the people I've never heard of, and even researching them, I'm like, yeah, this is not my kind of content. A couple of the people I actually was like, oh, like, I didn't even realize Philosophy Tube was going to be one of the featured creators, and, you know, they do great videos, and it's like, oh, like, I didn't see ContraPoints on the list. That would be, like, that is one of the few people I would, like, wait in line for hours to meet. But, you know, even with the meet and greet, VidCon says that there's like 3 different kinds of meet and greet. There's professional photography, where someone takes a photo. There's selfie, I guess you take the photo yourself, and then there's like a roundtable one where a small group of people will be in a room, and then the featured creator will like go around and have small conversations with you. I am only interested in the third one. I don't give a shit about pictures. You know, I don't give a shit. And I guess you don't find out which one you have until you sign up, and if you win that, you know, win with that person or whatever. So I guess my goal is to sign up on this list, and then if I get the meeting one, great. If it's a picture one, I'm just gonna be like, give it to someone who cares. But yeah, I managed to get through the A's and like 2 B names, previewing their content, and yeah, like most of them were, you know, attractive Hollywood teens that I was just blogging about their rich lives, and I'm just like, I have no interest in watching or meeting these people. There was one person that I was a little surprised. I had heard of him before when I researched him for the previous canceled VidCons, Alex Wasabi. The only reason I was interested is that apparently he's been doing YouTube almost as long as I have. He started in, I think, 2006 or something like that. He started the year after YouTube was created, and I started the year before, and like, he's doing pretty well now and everything. And you know, I mean, it's fine. I'm not going to begrudge people for doing well, even if it's not the kind of content that I personally enjoy watching. But just the fact that he's been doing it for a while, like, it would be kind of cool to talk to him and be like, how did you keep fighting even when you weren't, you know, your content wasn't going up anywhere? How did you find enjoyment? You know, it's the same thing as like all these things like indie devs and stuff like that, where you hear the success stories and it's like, yeah, but all the people that have been trying this whole time and nothing happened for them, like, repeatedly people that follow me are like, why do you keep trying? I'm like, I don't know. I'm insane, I guess. There's pieces of enjoyment that I like, you know, and I keep hoping that I'll at least be able to work to a place where I can just make the content and then either have someone else be in charge of like making social media posts and stuff, or just not even bother. I mean, fucking Elon Musk is gonna destroy what's left of Twitter. I already hate Facebook and Instagram. Nobody uses Mastodon. MeWe is all, you know, Nazis and anti-vaxxers. Like, there's no good social media option out there that I know of. Maybe one will rise now that, you know, even Twitter is like, I mean, Twitter was already full of a lot of problems, but now it's going to be even worse. Maybe this is what it takes to push people to Mastodon or something, except that Mastodon is not like one service, it's all these different instances, and I don't even really understand it. So I know that the like, you know, middle-aged nudist followers I have on Twitter are never going to figure it out, because I can't even figure it out, and I'm pretty tech savvy, so we'll see. It'd be nice to make my own Mastodon instance, except that costs money for hosting and stuff. Although one interesting point on that, Tio, who started the Trom server or whatever, where I've been able to upload my videos, and fantastic news on that, I finally signed up for a VPN, and I've actually been able to upload videos again. It's amazing. I'm like, holy shit, because for a long time, like months and months and months, all of a sudden I couldn't upload videos anymore, and so I had literally nowhere to put my videos that I was allowed to put them up. So it's really nice having that. It's a very small instance, and I'm still like nervous about directing my hater squad at Trom, but he says that he's prepared for it. But Tio actually put a post up recently where he said that he's super frustrated with the insane attitudes that America and you know, most places have towards non-sexual nudity, and he's thinking of making his own totally separate PeerTube instance just for non-sexual nudity. And I told him that I would happily, you know, talk to him and like see what I can do as far as like encouraging people to crowdfund some method of paying for that, because PeerTube instances require server space costs money. Unfortunately, people are used to getting things for free, and, you know, what attempts I've made at fundraising, you know, money to host my own videos or whatever was met with like, oh, you're whoring yourself out. And it's like, do you not understand that free sites are not an option for normalized nudity, for even non-sexual topless women, let alone full body nudity? So I don't know, but yeah, I figure I'll try to help him with that. Speaking of crowdfunding, I'm also trying to crowdfund for, he goes by Nosferatu, but I always call him NASA because for some reason the way he spells his name it's like almost leet speak, my brain just goes no, and I read it as NASA, and he's like accepted, he thinks it's funny. I have an interview with him, topless.org/NASA if you want to see me talking to him or whatever, but he's this guy that started actively participating in the Topless Topics community like maybe less than a year ago. He says he lurked for a long time, but he only just, you know, in that time started taking part, and he's very eager, he's very happy to help, he's very like pro, I guess, networking, but not in like a slimy Hollywood way, in a literal like, you know, I support these people and I want to help them achieve what they're trying to achieve. So like in my case, topless equality. And so, you know, a lot of my more recent interviews have been sex workers and stuff that he knew, that he recommended toward me. And now that I apparently have Trom working again, like now I'm actually starting to plan interviews again. But then we run into shit like today, where I don't think I'm really gonna get anything done today because Aiden just did not let me sleep last night, and I'm like scared to make noise because I don't want to wake him up from his nap. Like I said, he, I don't know if I said it, I'm very tired. He developed a fever after his nap yesterday, and then has been just sort of off and on acting normal versus, mommy, I'm sick, I don't feel good, like just off and on and off and on. And even before he started, you know, acting sick, he has not been letting us sleep at night. Maybe 1 or 2 nights a week will he actually be quiet from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. if that. Otherwise he's like constantly like, mommy, I'm scared, I don't like the dark. Like I leave the full light on in his room and he still says he's scared of the dark, but then he complains about the light in his head, like, ah. So yeah, you know, it's hard to plan for like interviews and stuff like that when I work from home, and, you know, thank God I have him in daycare, although, you know, we're using up all my dad's social security to pay for the daycare. There's still no, you know, there's no guarantee that I won't have to keep him home because if he's being sick, or he's just in a really, really bad mood because he didn't sleep that night or whatever. So yeah, it's hard to plan. It's definitely, like, I've been really hesitant to plan out like interviews with, you know, official established content creators, even though it would be a great boost as far as video, you know, getting more people to see my videos, and also, you know, interesting. Not that like the casual people I interview aren't interesting, but you know, I'm trying to get a wide variety of perspectives. And unlike certain millionaire podcasts, I don't really only want to feature just like random people talking about things out of their ass like I do. Like I want to have actual professionals. Like I still have this long list of like child psychiatrists or sex therapists, like just, you know, all these different professions or studies or whatever that'd be really interesting to talk to someone and have like, or like a psychiatrist who specializes in cult mentality and stuff like that. Like I want to talk to people who actually have knowledge, you know, coastal elites who have knowledge and research behind what they're saying, instead of just guessing like I do based on their own personal observation. But yeah, I've been hesitant to like arrange things like that because of the kids. I'm also getting, I mean, I've been anxious, but I'm continuing to be anxious about our planned San Diego trip in mid-June. I pretty much have most of the things squared away. Like I have our plane ticket spot. I'm flying NASA out to watch the dogs. It looks like we're going to have a pretty cold June. I mean, it still hasn't really stopped raining almost every day, which is really annoying as far as like wanting to take the kids to the park and stuff. But, you know, I much prefer rain to 117 degrees like it was last June with that crazy heat dome, you know, once in a century weather event that we keep having multiple once in a century weather events. Like we had snow in April, more snow than has ever been recorded in Portland. Anyway, so most of that stuff's squared away, but I still remain anxious about like, well, what if COVID rates explode? What if the kids get sick right before we're supposed to leave? What if my dad gets really sick? What if he can't, you know, like he's trying, but you know, he's pretty frail and he's got a lot of anxiety, and I know he's like sick to his stomach thinking about going, and he would really rather not, but I'm like, Dad, you know, you're still with us. Yes, you're frail, but we're taking every consideration we can as far as like making sure you always have a bed you can lay in, or at least a, you know, rented car you can sit in or whatever. Like, and I'm trying to encourage him to, you know, when we're at the airport, to use a wheelchair, even though he's very like, you know, he doesn't want to, because then it's like, oh, I'm admitting I'm weak. I'm like, the kids will love it. Like, sit in your lap and they'll love it. But, you know, like, using a wheelchair for a couple hours in an airport is not the same as using a wheelchair for your entire life. And I mean, not that there is a shame in using a wheelchair if you need it, but just like, I understand that he is hesitant to admit that he needs it. And I mean, it's hard to face the fact that you're, you know, becoming not able-bodied anymore, but I think pushing yourself to the point where you hurt yourself even more is not helpful. So anyway, so, you know, as far as I know, everything's still going forward with that. We've had COVID at least twice. Hell, Ada might have it again now. Who knows? Maybe I'll use one of our at-home tests on it, but it's like we only have one left because they only sent us 2. And I mean, at-home tests, I'm like, And the last time we tried to do one on Aiden, he fought me so bad that like I don't really trust the negative result we got, because he wouldn't let me put the swab up his nose. And it's just, there's a lot of problems with that. VidCon actually did finally put out an email saying that people will either be required to show vaccination proof, which I mean, I'm assuming they only mean the first 2 shots, which I really don't think should be considered vaccination proof, because you basically need the booster to have any reliable shot at dealing with Omicron. But which we now have BA3 and BA4 exploding over in South Africa, and have already been found, you know, in the UK, and I think a couple cases here. And those are, you know, there's such a big difference between the variants. People don't understand. It's not like different hues. It's like straight up different colors as far as difference goes. And, you know, just because you have protection against one version doesn't mean that, you know, you're ironclad against another version. Like, again, obviously, like, we've had it twice at least, and, you know, and we're vaccine boosted, except for my 3-year-old, because they haven't fucking approved one. Anyway, so I'm still like, you know, I've made sure everything is cancelable, although I did just pay the threshold as far as Hilton. I have to pay $100 if I cancel my Hilton room for the VidCon stay, because we passed that threshold. The Airbnbs that I rented, 2 days in an Inglewood place, in case we are able to take the train in, and 6 nights, I think, in Imperial Beach, which is where my dad and my mom spent most of their life before they had me. And then, you know, at the end of the IB, my parents, I don't have parents, I have a parent. My other parent died. My dad and my husband and my kids are supposed to fly back here, and NASA's staying on another week to help with the kids since Matthew has to go back to work, and I'm going to stay down there for VidCon is the plan. I'm still like expecting everything to get canceled and go wrong, I think, because it's what keeps happening anyway. Even without COVID, you know, kids make things difficult, make plans difficult, so trying not to be too helpful. And also, like, even if I do manage to go to VidCon, they come back, I'm gonna spend the whole time being like, I hope they're doing okay, because kids are a lot, and you don't really realize when someone else is the primary parent, it's hard to really conceive of just how intense the kids are. Like, yeah, you know, you see what it's like when you're home on the weekends, but you still, by you I mean my husband, you still get to escape your day job during the week. I had a coworker at a job, actually the job I had before I had my kids, that literally got the job as a break away from her kids. That doesn't tell you something. Anyway, yeah, expecting a lot of guests canceled. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I'm glad trauma's working again. I'm still like, you know, I'm so used to things just not working anymore that I'm always waiting for stuff to go wrong again, because it often does, and trying to plan on that contingency as much as I can. If you are watching this and, you know, you're one of my, apparently Fenris is having dreams. Fenris! I just want you to stop barking. Oh, they're all excited now. Yeah, if you're, you know, a nudist, or just, you know, you want to help the cause of normalizing nudity, or even just help the cause of just topless equality. Although I really don't meet anyone that supports topless equality but doesn't support full body nudity, mostly because most of the people that follow me are already nudists who already want the freedom to let their wang fly free in the, you know, whatever. I've ranted about that before. TLDR, I'm all for full body nudity also, but my primary focus is on topless equality, and it's very vexing when I'm used as a stepping stone to get to full body nudity when I would like to begin with the same rights as men, please. Anyway, yeah, so if you're interested in maybe helping that become a reality, interested to the point where you might actually pony up a couple dollars a month to pay for the hosting, I guess leave a comment, you know, follow me at social media, at Topless Topics, basically everywhere, and I will put out more info about that as we form the plan, and I will try to help make that a reality. Oh, and I never finished. The thing about NASA too is that I've been paying him some money to be like a social media manager, and he hasn't really been able to do a lot of it because he's been having so much else go wrong with his life. One thing is that he has been doing, I think, Lyft or Grubhub or something like that, because I can't pay him enough to pay for rent and food and blah blah blah. You know, I'm using my what little bit is left of my dead mom's life insurance to pay him, because I wanted him to stay free so that he could watch the dogs, and also to try out having somebody to help me with that. But anyway, and his car is fucked. Like, he needs to fix a lot of parts of his car to be able to do Lyft or whatever, so I convinced him to put together a GoFundMe, and I've been trying to get people to donate. I just, yeah, like, people don't really like to put money where their mouth is, and I understand too with GoFundMes especially, because like everybody, like, you go anywhere on any social media and there's just like all sorts of random people like, I need money for cancer treatments, I need money because my house burned down, I need money, blah blah blah. And I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm saying that, you know, we're all dealing with our own things that we need to pay for, and I think the solution is to tax billionaires. I mean, crazy idea, right? But I know that's not going to happen, because the people that are in charge of whether or not we tax billionaires are themselves very rich and are paid by other rich people to make sure that there are not rules to tax billionaires, so that billionaires have money, you know, billions left over to build penis rockets or buy social media platforms and make them even more pro-Nazi and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, people are GoFundMing making GoFundMes for each other to pay for literally like cancer treatment for babies because our country is fucking garbage. Anyway, yeah. So if you wanna support either, I mean both if you're rich, but you know, either helping community I can't even talk. I'm so tired. Topless community member NASA fix his car so that he can, you know, do Lyft driving and stuff like that so that he can afford food. Follow me on social media and I have that info up. And or if you want to help pay for a PeerTube instance so that we can post videos normalizing nudity and normalizing topless equality, also follow me on social media. I do always recommend going to toplesstopics.org/contact to find the most up-to-date links to my social media, because I do get accounts banned and then I have to remake them. And I expect with like the Musk takeover and stuff, I'll get banned even more because I say a lot of not nice things about Nazis on Twitter. It's amazing I haven't been suspended so far. I mean, I had a friend get suspended for having a picture of a nude black woman, an illustrated, very obviously not like photorealistic, illustrated black woman on a horseback, holding a spear and stabbing through some Ku Klux Klan members, and he got suspended. And it's like, did he get suspended for nudity? Did he get suspended for violence against Klansmen? Like, who knows? But anyway, yeah, so that's about it. I was going to complain about how parents are not allowed to complain about their kids, but I didn't get to it. And honestly, what is there really to say? I am grateful for, like, I was complaining on Twitter this morning, basically just like typing gibberish about how tired I was. And like a bunch of my followers all liked it, and some of them were like offering like hug gifts and stuff. And it's like, I see you and I appreciate you, you know, as I've depressed and you know, caustically joked, I don't have real life friends, and by real life I mean like in-person friends. All my friends are online, and I mean they're real friends, you know, I consider you guys real friends, but it's just, I don't have, you know, wine nights where I can complain to other parents. All I have is social media, so, and I don't, you know, I refuse to use like Facebook and stuff where you can make it for per group of people. So anyway, yeah, I'm really fucking tired. I don't know. I guess I'll try to catch up on emails again. These fucking Shapermint is this company that sells shapewear, and I bought a couple of pieces from them, and they've been sending me multiple emails a day with these like thirsty ass lines like, are you okay? Like just straight up from like political donation, you know, pathetic lines or whatever. That's what they're doing for selling shapewear. And I went to unsubscribe myself, and there's no unsubscribe option. There's only like, oh, once a week. So I did the once a week one. Guess what? They're still sending me multiple pictures, you know, emails a day. So I added them to my spam filter, because fuck that. Jesus Christ. I bought like 2 things of shapewear, and they're just like, sale, hey, you should buy this. I'm like, okay, stop. I bought it to try out at VidCon. I'm not going to wear that shit like every day. Doesn't really seem to do much anyway. I still got muffin top anyway, so which I had previously talked about, how it's easy to be body positive for others but not yourself. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna go try to get some stuff done. Oh, by the way, I did get that strike removed. I made a YouTube vlog talking about Stripe refusing to let me use them for podcast ads because I have videos anywhere on the internet that have female nipples in them. And I linked to a page I had made on my website giving more detail about that. And on that page, I had embedded a list of tweets that I had made about it. And when you embed a Twitter thread to WordPress, it includes previous tweets in that thread. So it included a previous tweet that had a thumbnail auto-generated because I linked to another page on my site that had female nipples in it. So I had a link to a link to a link to a link to a link, maybe just a link to a link to a link to a link, and YouTube gave me a strike saying I was linking to porn. And I complained the fuck all over Twitter and like was encouraging people to whatever, and they removed the strike, but they didn't actually send me an email or anything about it, which is very suspicious. They just like did it. And I still have that other strike for another time where I linked to my own website that they said I was linking to porn that's still stuck in submitted. They never even looked at the appeal. Luckily it auto expires in mid-May, but yeah, it's just the fucking censorship is insane. Same old. All right. Yeah, you know, you never know which video is going to get slapped with a new bullshit ban, because it can happen to any video at any time. I did put together a petition that demands that YouTube at least gives exact time codes for when they ban a video, why they ban a video, and give us the option to edit out the part instead of ban the entire video. I don't think it'll actually go anywhere, but you never know. You know, if you can actually get a petition up to like 100,000 signatures, maybe it's enough to get like a Medium article written about it or something, and then we might be able to shame YouTube into doing something about it. I mean, all we can do is try, right? So if you'd like to sign that, I can't link to it. I can't link to the page that I made for it because YouTube will ban that as linking to porn. But if you go to my videos, I have a semi-satirical video I did that, you know, I was wearing my handmade outfit and I was like, are you tired of having your videos banned for bullshit reasons? I have a link to the change.org petition in that description. So nothing to do with my website. And so far it hasn't been banned as linking to porn, but you know, as it says in the video, all it takes is people to false flag your video. You don't actually have to violate anything and they can still ban your video, so that might get banned. All right, I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna drink some coffee. I'm gonna try to very quietly, probably work from the kitchen on my laptop because that's like the furthest away in the house I can get from Aiden. If it would stop raining, I could maybe work out back, but it, you know, it never stops raining, so. It's always raining here. That was the name of a boy love comic I read a long time ago that was actually pretty good. That is set up here in the PNW, and I read it before I moved up here, which is kind of funny. I also watched the first season of Heartstopper, which Netflix just put out, which is based on another boy love comic that I read. And it's kind of cool to see shows being made out of things that I read. I've always been of the attitude that, like, I don't really mind if they make changes as long as the changes are good. But they've been following it pretty closely. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna go. Follow me on social media. Look for updates. Join our Discord if you haven't. topless.org/chat. And if you don't have children, appreciate every minute of sleep you get. And if you do have children, I'm right there in the trenches with you. Let's support each other and not shame each other for complaining, and just be honest about the realities of how difficult parenting is, and hope that it gets better as they get older, hopefully. Because I'm so tired. All right, bye.